Tyreek Hill and Josh Allen to the Chiefs, the ultimate duo in the making. Rumors are spreading like wildfire. Tyreek Hill and Josh Allen are both being linked to the Kansas City Chiefs. And if this actually happens, we could be looking at the most explosive duo the NFL has ever seen. Tyreek Hill with his lightning speed and game-breaking ability paired with Josh Allen's cannon of an arm and fearless play style. That's a match made in football heaven. This duo wouldn't just be good, they'd be unstoppable. Whether it's deep bombs, broken plays, or clutch moments, these two have the tools to take over games and put up points in a flash. And with Andy Reid's offensive genius guiding the playbook, Chiefs Kingdom might be on the verge of another golden era. Get ready. If Hill and Allen both land in Kansas City, history is about to be made. 2025 might just be the start of something legendary. What do you think, Chiefs fans? Is this the dream team you've been waiting for? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Talking about the NFL draft is one thing, but gaining deeper insight into the specific needs, tendencies, and philosophies of the Kansas City Chiefs, especially through the lens of GM Brett Veach and the coaching staff, that's where things get truly next level. Today, I'm joined by Kent Swanson of KC Sports Network as we break down the 2025 NFL Draft from a Chiefs-centric perspective. We'll explore everything from potential first-round targets at offensive tackle to defensive reinforcements, wide receiver depth, running back value, and more. Kent, with the draft just about a week away, what's your outlook on this year's class? And more importantly, how do you see things shaping up for the Chiefs, particularly at offensive tackle with pick 31? There's definitely a buzz around offensive tackles right now, especially if the right prospect falls. This class has respectable depth, but the high-end talent starts to thin out after the first 12 to 15 picks. For Kansas City at 31, targeting an offensive tackle makes a lot of sense if the right name is on the board. Josh Simmons from Ohio State is one we've discussed often. He's a top 15 caliber talent, but some injury concerns could cause him to slide. If he's available due to those medical red flags, the Chiefs could absolutely make a move. It's all about locking down a long-term solution at left tackle and finally ending the annual revolving door debate at that position. If Simmons or another top tackle isn't available, expect the Chiefs to go with the best player on the board. If Simmons is unavailable or the medicals raise too many red flags, are there other offensive tackles worth targeting, maybe even in a trade-up scenario with teams like the Vikings or Texans? Trading up for Simmons would be a bold statement that the Chiefs trust his medical evaluations and character, and I'd be fully behind that decision. He's that talented. Other names to consider, Kelvin Banks Jr. Out of Texas, though, there are questions about his arm length. And Josh Connerly from Oregon. Both are young, battle-tested athletes from elite programs who have protected the blind side at the collegiate level. Now, the Chiefs do value arm length, so some scouts view Banks as a possible guard convert. But if either one drops, they're worth a serious look. And the Chiefs have had trouble solidifying the left tackle position since Orlando Brown Jr.'s departure. They've used short-term solutions, and now Jawan Taylor is on a 2-year deal. If the top-tier tackles are gone, where else might they pivot with a 31st pick? Defensive tackle, maybe? Can't? Absolutely. If the top tackles are off the board, defensive tackle is a prime area of interest. Derek Harmon from Oregon is an explosive, high-upside interior rusher who could slide to 31. Kenneth Grant from Michigan is another name, an athletic anomaly who fits perfectly next to Chris Jones and gives you schematic versatility as Jones shifts around the line. This class actually has good value at DT in that late first range, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's the route they take. Before we keep going, shout out to KC Sports Network's 2025 draft guide. Over 300 pages of Chiefs-specific scouting rankings and fit evaluations. I've picked it up every year since 2019. It's a draft night essential. Use code HBTC for $10 off. Link in the description. Now, Ken, some say this class lacks elite talent outside the top 15. Could you see the Chiefs trading back from 31 to accumulate more picks? Would you support that? Trading back could be a very smart move this year. The sweet spot in this draft is between picks 10 and 50. There are a ton of starter quality players in that range. If a team is desperate to move up for a quarterback or high ceiling player, the Chiefs could drop to, say, pick 40 and still land an impact player, while gaining a mid-round asset, maybe a fifth-rounder. Given their gap between picks on day 3, that extra capital would go a long way. I'd support the move as long as the value lines up. Q, how critical is this draft when you considered Travis Kelce potentially entering his final year, ongoing cap limitations, and the 2022 draft class approaching free agency? This draft is pivotal both in the short term and for future roster building. With Mahomes' contract locked in and the window to contend still wide open, every pick matters. They've done well to plug 2025 needs, but 2026 could bring major losses at cornerback and other key spots. Those 4 top 100 picks need to yield players who can contribute immediately and develop into long-term starters, especially on the defensive side of the ball where new blood is essential. What about edge rusher? With Charles Omenihu and Malik Herring on one-year deals and lingering question marks around George Karlaftis and Felix Anudike-Uzomah, would you be surprised if they went edge in round 1? Not at all. I'd be completely on board with that. You can never have too many pass rushers, and the Chiefs love to rotate their edge players. Mike Williams from Georgia is a perfect fit for Spagnuolo's system. Long arms, excellent motor, solid against the run. Other second-round names include JT Tuimoloau from Ohio State or Landon Jackson from Arkansas. Both intriguing prospects with high ceilings. It's a premium position, and if the board falls that way, it's a direction I'd support wholeheartedly. Any other positions or players you're keeping an eye on early, perhaps a wide receiver or elsewhere? Definitely. The Chiefs still need a true big-bodied X-receiver, someone who can win on the outside. Round 2 could offer excellent value. Names like Trey Harris from Ole Miss, Alec Iomanor from Stanford, or Jaden Higgins from Iowa State all fit the mold. These are physically imposing targets who can stretch the field and win contested catches. An ideal complement to Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, giving Mahomes a more diversified arsenal. With Kelce possibly entering his final season, are there any tight ends you'd target, maybe with a minor trade up to learn behind him? Colston Loveland from Michigan would be a dream scenario in a trade up. His route running and field awareness echo shades of Kelce. More realistically, Jatavian Sanders from LSU, Jason Taylor's son, is a big-bodied natural pass catcher who's also a capable blocker. He's only 21 and could be molded behind Kelce as a long-term solution. Round 2 or 3 is likely his range. Linebacker feels like a sneaky need, especially with Leo Chenal and Drew Tranquill nearing the end of their deals. Any names you love for Spags' system, Ken? One guy I absolutely love is Carson Schwessinger from UCLA. He's 240 pounds, elite in coverage, instinctive, and brings a blue-collar mentality. He started as a walk-on and earned a scholarship. He's a true 3-down linebacker who can contribute on special teams immediately and solve some CC's coverage woes. He could go late round 1 or round 2 and pair beautifully with Nick Bolton. Running back class is reportedly deep. With Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, and Elijah Mitchell all on expiring deals, where do you see KC targeting a back? Kenk? If Omarion Hampton from North Carolina somehow falls to 31, I wouldn't hate the pick. He's a physical workhorse. But more realistically, they'll wait until pick 95 or 133. Damon Martinez from Miami is a name to watch, tough, explosive, and had a local visit. Other day 3 targets include Devin Neal, Kansas, and DJ Giddens, State, both of whom offer great vision and big play upside. This class is deep, and that day 2 to early day 3 range is the sweet spot. If a receiver drops in round 1 and there's no value in the trenches who fits the Chiefs' scheme given Rice and Worthy skill sets, Matthew Golden from Texas is a burner sub 4.3 speed and can stretch the field while beating press coverage. He's not the biggest target, but his vertical threat fits the Chiefs' offense beautifully. Luther Burden from Missouri is another intriguing name. He's more of a slot-heavy weapon, and while not a perfect fit, his playmaking is electric. But if I had to choose for scheme compatibility, I'd lean Golden. You wrote about QB as an LBS in the KSN draft guide. What about interior offensive linemen, especially after the Joe Thuney trade? Any fits you like? I'd be pretty disappointed if they reached on a guard early after moving Thuney. But day 2 could offer solid value. Wyatt Milam, West Virginia, and Miles Frazier, LSU, both have tackle backgrounds, which the Chiefs tend to favor. They bring good size, mobility, and developmental upside, especially lining up next to Creed Humphrey. No need for them to be stars on day 1. They can grow into the role. The Chiefs' struggles on the left side of the O-line have been noticeable. Would you be okay with doubling down at tackle even after the Jonah Williams signing? 100, yes. If a first-round pick locks down left tackle for the next 5-7 years, it's absolutely worth it. Even if Jonah Williams is in the mix, protecting Mahomes is non-negotiable and the blind side is vital. If it takes 2 shots to get it right, so be it. I'm all in, even if it's not the flashy move. The Thuney trade caught many off guard. On a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised were you? I'd say a 4. Stung, but it made sense. It signals a commitment to Trey Smith long-term. With Mahomes' cap hit and the need to remain competitive, tough decisions like this are part of the process. Thuney's older, Smith is younger, and now has a clear path. I understood the logic quickly. Any sleeper prospects you personally love for KC, any position, any round? Kent, at linebacker, Teddy Buchanan from Cal is an under-the-radar name. He's 230 pounds, fast, and can cover tight ends and receivers. He flashed at the East-West Shrine Bowl and could be a steal on day 3. At receiver, Isaac Teslea from Arkansas is a small school gem. Big-bodied, athletic, and reminds me a bit of Justin Watson. He's a developmental outside threat who could grow into the X-receiver role. I have final thoughts on the KCSN draft guide and the draft overall. The guide is a true labor of love. We start compiling it in October, over 225 detailed player write-ups, all tailored to fit within the Chiefs system. Strengths, weaknesses, scheme, fit. We cover it all. It's grown year after year thanks to loyal fans like you. Use code HBTC for a discount. And this draft, it's thrilling. 4 top 100 picks give Veach a real opportunity to bring in impact talent. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Huge thanks to Ken for the insights. Be sure to pair the KCS draft guide with Dane Brugler's The Beast for the ultimate draft night experience. Now it's your turn. What should the Chiefs do at pick 31? Drop your thoughts in the comments, grab the guide with code HBTC, and let's get ready for a wild draft night. You better set up, lean in, and lock that screen, because what I'm about to drop is hotter than a Texas heat wave and 10 times more electric. Something seismic is stirring down south that could shake the entire league to its core. And no, this isn't about whispers or speculation. This is real movement, action, intensity, legacy building. When you see who's out there grinding, sweating under the Texas sun with laser focus and something to prove, you'll understand exactly why every other NFL team should be sleeping with one eye open, but don't just scroll. Watch this entire video. Every second counts. And trust me, you do not want to miss what's going down. Smash that like button, drop a comment, type U if you still believe in the Chiefs, or L if you've lost the faith, and hit that subscribe so you stay locked in for what comes next. Let's get one thing straight. Championships aren't won on Sundays. They're built in the silence, in the shadows, in the grind. While the world sleeps through April, dreaming of glory months away, Patrick Mahomes is wide awake, working, leading, dominating. That's what separates the elite from everyone else. Kansas City isn't just chasing another postseason run. They're chasing immortality, and it all starts out there on those scorching Texas practice fields, far from the spotlight, but dead center in the heart of greatness. When Mahomes is out there calling the shots, repping routes, firing dimes to both familiar faces and rising talent, you realize this isn't a photo shoot. This is the blueprint, the prelude to dominance, the quiet before the storm. And it's not just Mahomes clocking in early. He's bringing the entire squad with him. Picture nearly a dozen Chiefs players linked up 9 days ago for the first major throwing session of the offseason. That's not just commitment. That's a mission. These aren't just teammates. They're soldiers sharpening their swords before battle. And now, another wave has joined in, adding fuel to the fire. That's timing. That's chemistry. That's execution being forged in real time. This is how dynasties stay dynasties. You don't let the crown fall. You polish it before anyone's watching. Mahomes is out there with Nico Remigio, Sky Moore, Xavier Worthy, Isaiah Pacheco, Noah Gray, Chris Oladokun, and Bailey Zapp. Let that sink in. This isn't just a few skill guys catching passes. This is quarterbacks syncing with wideouts, running backs working on hands, tight ends fine-tuning routes. And most importantly, it's about depth. This is a unit being built to move like a machine in Mahomes. He's the architect, the engine, the gravitational pull that aligns everyone in orbit. So when training camp hits, this team won't just arrive. They'll crash in like a Category 5 hurricane. Let's break down why this group matters. Sky Moore, grinding hard, trying to carve out a bigger role. Remigio, young, hungry, determined to make the roster. Noah Gray, steady, dependable, and ready to break out if the connection's right. Oladokun Zappe, backup QB soaking in every rep they can, learning from a master, preparing like their moment could come any moment. That's what you want. Depth built with intention, because in the NFL, one injury changes everything. Mahomes knows that better than anyone. So he's not just building highlights, he's building contingencies. Now let's talk about the names that turned heads. Isaiah Pacheco and Xavier Worthy weren't there for the first session, but they didn't miss the second. And that says everything. Pacheco last season didn't go his way. Injuries disrupted his flow, dimmed that fire, but he didn't fold. He refocused. Now he's back catching passes, running routes, refining that receiving game. So he's not just a bruiser in 2025. He's a weapon. That's hunger. That's growth. That's dangerous. And Worthy, don't even get me started. This man just had a monster rookie campaign. 20 games played regular season and playoffs, 78 catches, over 900 yards, 9 touchdowns through the air, 3 more on the ground. That's not rookie production. That's superstar potential. And instead of kicking back, he's in Texas, grinding, building trust, working on that unspoken connection with Mahomes that turns a good offense into a historic one. This isn't about staying ready. This is about sending a message to every team in the AFC. The Chiefs aren't satisfied with being back-to-back champs. They're not sitting on success. They're starving. They want more. And they're laying the foundation right now in sweat, dirt, and relentless reps. Because this is where contenders are revealed. This is where leaders are forged. This is where the future is written before the cameras ever roll. You either put in the work or you get left behind. This squad, they're sprinting ahead. While the rest are still lacing up their cleats, and Mahomes, he's not just tossing balls around. He's crafting the very future of this franchise. See you next to the video.